The saga begins with Goku searching for the Dragon Ball that his grandfather left him. At this point, he has a power level of 90 units, since after being defeated by Master Roshi in the World Martial Arts Tournament and later recovering, the young Saiyan received a Zenkai boost that significantly increased his strength. At that moment, he is attacked by Colonel Silver's men, who are also searching for the Dragon Balls. These are normal low-rank soldiers, so I assign the human soldier a power level of 5 units, while the anthropomorphic wolf soldier is slightly stronger, reaching 5.5 units. The human soldier threatens Goku with a gun, demanding that he hand over the Dragon Ball. However, the power gap is overwhelming, and Goku defeats him with a single kick. Seeing this, the wolf soldier fires his weapon, but Goku dodges every shot and, with a simple punch followed by a kick, defeats him instantly. Then we have Colonel Silver, who is clearly much stronger than the previous soldiers, so I assign him a power level of 9 units, since he had enough speed to surprise Goku and snatch his bag. Even so, the difference between them is still enormous, as Goku is 10 times stronger. When the fight begins, Silver attacks with everything he has, but Goku counters with a simple kick that knocks the wind out of him. Silver tries again with another kick, but Goku easily dodges the attack and responds with a strike using his tail, defeating him instantly. After this, Goku heads toward Muscle Tower, one of the Red Ribbon Army's bases led by General White. There, we meet a young girl named Suno, who helps Goku during his stay in the nearby village. Since she is just a normal child with no combat training, I assign her a power level of only 2.2 units. Next, we see the Red Ribbon Army soldiers guarding Muscle Tower. These soldiers have military training, so I estimate their power level to be around 6 units. However, their real danger mainly comes from the weapons they use. Even so, this does not pose much of a challenge for Goku, who defeats them quite easily using his power pole. After this, Goku reaches the 3rd floor of the tower, where the fearsome Sergeant Metallic is waiting for him. This android was extremely strong for that point in the story, so I assign him a power level of 85 units. This means that Goku only surpasses him by about 5.9%, a very small gap that results in a very even fight, although with a slight advantage for the Saiyan. This is clearly reflected in the battle, as both fighters clash evenly, exchanging heavy blows and enduring powerful attacks from each other. However, Goku shows a slight advantage in speed, while Sergeant Metallic stands out for his superhuman durability and resistance to damage. Finally, Goku uses his most powerful technique and attacks with all his strength. With this technique, his base power multiplies by 2.2, reaching an attack power of 198 units. Thanks to this, he manages to inflict massive damage on Sergeant Metallic. However, the android was still capable of continuing the fight, but at the perfect moment his batteries run out of power. Because of this, Goku continues advancing and climbs up to the 4th floor of the tower. When he reaches the next floor, Goku encounters Ninja Murasaki. This opponent is fairly strong and highly skilled, especially in the use of weapons and various ninja tactics, so I assign him a power level of 25 units. On the other hand, due to the previous battle against Sergeant Metallic, I estimate that Goku's power decreased by about 15% because of the damage he received and the energy he expended, leaving him with a power level of 76.5 units. Even so, when comparing both levels, Goku surpasses Ninja Murasaki by 206%, meaning he is more than 3 times stronger. This enormous gap is clearly reflected during the battle. During the fight, Ninja Murasaki tries all kinds of strategies and attacks Goku using every ninja weapon he has. However, none of Ninja Murasaki's attempts are enough to defeat Goku. Desperate, Ninja Murasaki decides to use his most powerful technique, the multiplication technique, which allows him to split into 5 identical ninjas. Even so, Goku easily defeats 4 of them. The last Murasaki clone, realizing he can no longer win the fight, decides to run away and goes upstairs to ask for help from Android 8. This android turns out to be quite powerful, even stronger than Goku at this point in the story. Goku himself confirms this much later when he states that Android 8's punches were stronger than his own. Based on this, I assign him a power level of 95 units. Despite his enormous strength, Android 8 is a peaceful and timid being who dislikes violence, which is why he refuses to obey Ninja Murasaki's orders. Because of this disobedience, Ninja Murasaki, furious, pulls out a remote control to activate the bomb that Android 8 carries inside his body and destroy him. However, Goku, completely angered by the situation, reacts quickly, destroys the remote and attacks with all his strength, ultimately defeating Ninja Murasaki once and for all. After this, Goku and Android 8 fall into a trap set by General White, who locks them inside a secret room. There, an abominable monster named Bion appears. This creature proves to be quite strong, although I consider it weaker than both Goku and Android 8, so I assign it a power level close to 60 units. Its true danger lies in its gelatinous body, which gives it an extremely soft structure that is immune to physical attacks. This becomes clear during the fight, since all of Goku's attacks bounce off the monster's body, while Bion can attack Goku using electrical shocks. Due to the accumulated fatigue from previous battles and the fact that Goku begins to feel very hungry, I estimate that his power decreases by another 20%, leaving him at 61.2 units. With few options left, Goku decides to use his most powerful technique. With this technique, he multiplies his base power by 2.2, reaching 134.6 units of attack power. However, the energy wave also bounces off Bion's body and has no effect. Because of the enormous energy consumption, Goku's power drops again by another 15%, falling to 52 units. However, Goku comes up with an idea. He destroys one of the tower's walls and allows the freezing cold from outside to enter. Thanks to this, he manages to freeze Bion, and taking advantage of the opportunity, he destroys the monster with a single kick. After the victory, Goku and Android 8 go to confront General White. Since he is a trained Red Ribbon Army soldier, I assign him a power level of 7 units. General White knows that Goku is extremely tired from the previous battles and decides to fight him anyway, but the difference is still overwhelming. Goku surpasses him by 643%, meaning he is roughly 7 times stronger. Because of this, Goku easily knocks him down with just a few simple blows. However, General White manages to trick Goku and surprises him with a large caliber weapon, managing to injure the boy. Seeing this, Android 8 becomes furious, protects Goku, and finishes off General White with a single punch, sending him flying into the mountains and destroying him instantly. After these events, the next day, Goku and Bulma head to Master Roshi's house. I estimate that Master Roshi has slightly increased his strength after the World Martial Arts Tournament, so at this point I assign him a power level of 82 units. Bulma, on the other hand, remains at roughly the same level as in the previous saga. She is still a very young and ordinary human, so she has about 2.5 units of power. Next we have Krillin, who continued training with a master after the tournament, improving his abilities until reaching approximately 55 units of power. Finally, there is Launch, a normal human to whom I assign 4 units of power. The same applies to her blonde form, since only her personality changes, not her fighting strength. At that moment, Krillin decides to accompany Goku and Bulma in the search for the Dragon Ball, which is located inside a pirate cave under the sea. However, this is when General Blue, one of the most powerful members of the Red Ribbon Army, appears and begins following Goku and the others to the pirate cave. Meanwhile, Goku and his companions arrive at the pirate hideout, where a powerful pirate robot suddenly appears and attacks them. I estimate that this robot has about 60 units of power. When comparing this with Krillin's power, the robot surpasses him by about 9%, which is reflected in the fight when it lands a powerful punch that deals significant damage to Krillin. Seeing this, Goku tells Krillin to go with Bulma and search for the Dragon Ball, while he handles the enemy himself. Remember that Goku has 90 units of power, which means he surpasses the robot by about 50%. This difference is significant, which is why Goku knocks it down with a single kick, sending it crashing into the sea. After that, Goku jumps to the top of a building and dives down with a devastating strike, causing the robot to explode completely, clearly demonstrating his superiority. Meanwhile, General Blue appears and confronts Krillin and Bulma. Krillin has 55 units of power, but General Blue turns out to be considerably stronger, so I assign him 70 units of power. This means he surpasses Krillin by about 27%, a difference that translates into a clear advantage, the scene in the fight where General Blue completely overwhelms him. However, at the last moment, Goku arrives to face him. When comparing their power levels, Goku with 90 units surpasses General Blue by about 29%, which is clearly reflected in the battle. as Goku easily gains the upper hand and manages to seriously damage him with a few strikes. Nevertheless, General Blue uses his telekinesis ability and manages to immobilize Goku, striking him repeatedly while preparing to shoot him with a shotgun. At the most critical moment, a mouse suddenly appears and scares General Blue, causing his technique to break. Goku immediately takes advantage of the opportunity and defeats General Blue with a powerful punch. The story now shifts to Penguin Village, where we are introduced to the young Aral. I estimate Aral's power level at 100 units, since from the very beginning it is made clear that she is even stronger than Goku at this point in the story. If we compare the power levels of Aral and General Blue, we find that Aral surpasses him by approximately 43%. This is immediately reflected in the encounter. Aral launches herself forward and lands a powerful double kick, sending General Blue flying a great distance away. She then finishes the attack with a strong headbutt, launching him all the way to the other side of the planet. After this, Goku recovers the Dragon Balls and says goodbye in order to continue searching for the 4-star Dragon Ball. After these events, the story moves to the sacred land of Korin, where the next Dragon Ball was located, protected by Bora. This warrior proves to be quite strong, so I estimate his power level at around 65 units. On the other hand, Colonel Yellow has a maximum power level of about 6 units. Colonel Yellow manages to capture Bora's son in order to force him to hand over the Dragon Ball, but at that very moment Goku appears, and without hesitation destroys the Colonel's airplane and rescues the boy. Meanwhile, at the Red Ribbon Army headquarters, the feared assassin Mercenary Tao is introduced. He is hired to eliminate Goku. To demonstrate his abilities, he must first face General Blue. As we know, General Blue has 70 power units, while the deadly assassin reaches 110 units. This means Mercenary Tao surpasses him by 57%, an overwhelming difference. Although General Blue attacks with everything he has, Mercenary Tao easily dodges his attacks and kills him instantly using only his tongue, leaving everyone completely shocked. Minutes later, Mercenary Tao arrives at the sacred land of Korin. As expected, Bora tries to confront him, but the difference in power is far too great, and Mercenary Tao kills Bora with ease. Seeing this, Goku, completely furious, launches himself into battle. As we know, at this point Goku has a power level of 90 units, while Mercenary Tao has 110 units, meaning the assassin surpasses Goku by about 22%, which is enough to defeat him with relative ease. This is clearly shown in the fight. Mercenary Tao dodges Goku's initial attack and immediately counters with a powerful kick that causes severe damage. Realizing the gap in power, Goku decides to use his strongest ki technique. By multiplying his base power by 2.2, he reaches approximately 198 units of attack power. However, Mercenary Tao manages to block the attack, suffering only minor damage to his clothes. Because of this, Mercenary Tao counterattacks with a Dodon Ray, a technique that I estimate multiplies his power by 2.5, reaching about 275 units of attack power. The impact causes devastating damage to Goku, leaving him on the verge of death. After this, Mercenary Tao leaves, believing he has completed his mission. However, Goku survives thanks to the Dragon Ball absorbing part of the impact. After recovering, Goku climbs Korin Tower, where he meets Master Korin, the legendary Hermit Cat. As for Master Korin's power, he is estimated to possess tremendous strength, so I assign him a power level of around 190 units. After completing 3 days of training, Goku says goodbye to Master Korin and descends from the tower to face Mercenary Tao once again. As a reminder, Mercenary Tao has 110 power units, but Goku, thanks to his training, raises his power to an impressive 125 units. If we compare their powers again, Goku now surpasses Mercenary Tao by about 13.6%, meaning that Goku can now defeat him, although the battle would still be long and demanding. This is immediately reflected in the fight. Mercenary Tao attacks with everything he has, but Goku manages to overpower him and ultimately delivers a brutal beating to the feared assassin. Mercenary Tao, realizing that he is about to be defeated, decides to surrender and beg Goku for forgiveness. However, this turns out to be a trap, as he suddenly throws a powerful bomb at Goku. Nevertheless, Goku reacts instantly and with a quick kick, sends the bomb back toward Mercenary Tao. As a result, the explosion finally defeats the feared assassin once and for all. Finally, the saga takes us to the Red Ribbon Army headquarters, where the last members of the organization are located. First, we see Colonel Violet, to whom I assign a power level of 6 units, since she has military training. Then we have Commander Red, the leader of the Red Ribbon Army, whose power level I estimate at only 5 units, since he does not demonstrate any remarkable combat abilities. At this point, Goku arrives at the headquarters and begins defeating all the Red Ribbon Army soldiers who stand in his way. Finally, General Black appears. This member of the Red Ribbon Army claims that he is not an ordinary opponent, so I assign him approximately 8 units of power. However, Goku's power is on a completely different level, as he now possesses 125 units of power, allowing him to overpower General Black with extreme ease. However, General Black uses a powerful combat robot, which I estimate increases his power level to around 85 units. This means that Goku still surpasses him by approximately 47%, something that is clearly reflected in the battle, as Goku manages to pierce through the robot with a powerful strike, causing a massive explosion and ultimately defeating the entire Red Ribbon Army. Thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on upcoming videos. A big hug to everyone.